What is up, my Ark survivors? This is Alcarin.
And this is Lucy.
Bringing you a top 20 PvP locations for
the island, and we're starting with 20.
Oh my god, oh my god. Now, I really like this location because it's in the southernmost part of the map. It's probably not going to be contested. It's really awesome because you have the height and you have pretty good resource location. You have good access to resources.
And I personally think this is my favorite. You guys think I'm going to say that every time, but this actually is my favorite.
And she actually said that in another video.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 19.
Yes, and we chose this one because same thing. You've got a lot of ledge around it, so it's going to be more difficult to get to it. However, there is still a lot of access to it, so it's our number 19
And it's
pick.
going to be less contested over the higher location PvP spots.
And when you come into a server late and the Alpha tribe has already taken a lot, these are great spots for a small tribe to take over.
Definitely.
We have number 18 here.
Number 18, I like it a lot. You don't have the high PvP advantage. You have a lot of open, flat land. You have access to a lot of stone, wood. You have water access. Really nice. Not the top pick. But again, if you're coming in late into the game and all the other spots are taken, this is still a good location.
I personally would give this my 20 slot.
Your 20 slot?
Or 40.
Or 40 slot? Okay. Well, I mean, the flatness is hard to compete with. Moving on to number 17.
Yes, this one, Alcarin and I kind of debated over. I told him I thought it was stinky, and he told me that it was good for...
Now, it's really good. I've seen it used. You build towers, right? Really high, lots of turrets, very hard to access. You have zero land access, very high advantage, very sharp cliffs. It's impossible to raid if built correctly.
Oh, this one's a fun one, our number 16.
So this cave, you literally have to go prone and into the cave. You cannot fit, you can only fit, what, shoulder dinos? Mm-hmm. I mean, you really have no way of sieging this, and if you turn it off correctly, I know not on all maps you're allowed to build in caves, so it might not apply.
Yes, but we do have 20, so if it doesn't apply, there's still a lot of other really great ones. Plus, look how beautiful it is. You can't beat the...
You got water on the outside, you're close to polymer, you're close to oil, you've got metal on that metal mountain just above you, you've got access to a lot of really good resources, and you've got really good pearl access. So I would say this is the best one so far.
So far, and on top of it, the choke points are just...
ridiculous.
Yeah, incredible. And this would be a good place to stash all your goods, where you have maybe one of the icebergs in order to have a different base for your actual land dinosaurs.
So like a vault room or something like that.
Exactly. It would be amazing.
Moving on to 15. Now this one's really nice. You don't have that height advantage, but you do have water protecting you. You have a lot of oil. You have a lot of polymer. You're close to the metal, but not as close. But I think you've got that flat area, and I really do like it. I've seen it done very well.
I have too, and they ended up being able to bring in some of their water dinos. I haven't personally done it myself, but there's a way to get them in there.
Yeah, see that little water hole right there? You can bring your water dinos from the ocean onto and very easily protect them.
Exactly, and then you can have a cage or a gate inside the water to help them.
Yep. Moving on to 14. I really like this one too. I would say it's kind of on par with 15. You've got almost all the same access. It's a little bit better because I think you're a little bit closer to the polymer.
Yeah, and you do have a bit more that you can build on for height-wise.
Definitely.
So perfect.
Moving on to
number 13.
Now this one's a lot better than the others we've looked at. You've got some major height advantage, and you have some nice flat area on the bottom. So if you build on the top of that spire, and if you do a turret tower, it's literally impossible to get ground dino access to.
On top of the fact that you are slightly further away from the mainland, so it's going to be harder to bring dinos over.
Moving on to number 12, the Snow Mountain. This thing is amazing. You have tons of metal access, tons of stone, flint. You have height advantage. You have, but you are in an obelisk, so everybody's going to try to compete over this spot. But it's definitely the best so far.
Yeah, if you're unofficial, this is a bad spot. So keep that in mind. But if you're not, or if you're on a cluster, it's a bad spot. But other than that, if you're not, it's a super killer location.
And the cold is an extremely good defensive tactic because they have to bring fur armor in order to be able to deal with the elements.
So you know you're at least working with people that have had to build up a bit.
Yes. Moving on to number 11. Now, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah,
Lucy?
so these ones are fun. There's actually a few of them, and we kind of just named them 11, 12, 10, whatever. And they're really flat, and it makes it difficult for people to get in there. They're going to all have to come from the same direction.
You have a single choke point, you have height advantage, you have tree access. Nobody's going to hit you from the cliff edge unless they're using flyers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really good PvP location, but again, one choke is huge.
One choke is super huge, and so the next one that we're going into right now for our number 10, it actually is a very similar one right next to it. So my thought is, not that it's better. I mean, it obviously is
it's
better.
Ranked better, yeah.
But it not only that, if you took dominance over each one, you could build turret towers on each one and just completely rule this whole area.
Oh, definitely, I agree. Moving on to number 9. This is another ledge. I really like this one. It's very similar to the last two. Single choke point, high ledge, access to trees. You have about the same access to resources. They're all kind of around the same rank. I think this one has more space.
And it's a more narrow choke point.
It's a more narrow choke point,
So that in itself makes it more valuable. Plus, its actual flat surface, I think, is bigger. So it's really good.
Moving on to number 8. Now, this one has 0 ground access. It's literally choked all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
You have close access to metal. You've got the height advantage. You could totally build a turret tower. You're pretty much forcing them to terra bomb if terra bombing's even a thing on your server with the flyer nerf.
And you're in a good region, so you're kind of center. You've got a great spot for land dinos down there, have flyers up top, and our friends are using this spot right now, and they absolutely love it. So It's a great location.
Moving on to number 7. Now, these are underwater caves, and I kind of group these all as number 7, right?
Yeah.
So this is just one example. You can see the blue, the yellow, and the purple marks all around the map. We're only going to show you one for this particular example. And all the caves are pretty similar design, if not exactly the same. But we're moving on down underwater. Now, this eliminates the use of rockets when you're trying to raid this. They're pretty much forced to use C4. Now, again, if they this is only good if they allow cave building on your map. It's impossible to break into this if it's built properly. Like, literally, turrets work underwater.
We had one person man this, and he manned it against one of the harder tribes for a very long time, and they never got in.
And not to mention, you have pearls, you have oil, you have crystal, and of course you have access to a lot of chitin, and that thing is as scary as all hell.
Yeah.
I haven't got to deal with them yet, but I hear stories.
And so why would you even have a raft?
Moving on to number 6, looking at this, you have one choke access point. You're close to, you have wood, you have oil, you have polymer.
Pearls.
You have pearls. I don't know, I think you're kind of close to metal. It's really nice. It's a really awesome location.
That one is a very, very top location because you can get about 1,300 pearls over to the right there. Definitely.
Moving on to Stonehenge, or I like to call it number 5. Now this one, you've got water, you've got stone. I don't think you have metal access. You are in the southern part of the map, but I mean, just sheer advantage, height advantage. You can build on top of those flat rocks, and you can just turret it up, and there's 0 ground access. Makes it a really solid place, easy to lock down. It's going to require flyers to bullet soak that.
Absolutely. I'm still curious to see how somebody would build in there, but
I've seen it done, and it's amazing.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Moving to our number 4.
4. Now, this one may not look like an amazing location. It has 1 or 2 choke points, I think. 2 choke points, has the height advantage, has very close access to the cementing paste gas cave. Mm-hmm. Amazing. You have access to the volcano. You're very close to the volcano, so you have metal, paste, you have stone, you have wood, you have water access. You have all the resources except for maybe pearls, which are just down the way off the shore. So resource-wise, height-wise, choke point-wise, I mean, you've got almost everything to make this one of the best, if not the best, location on the map.
Well, you sold it to me. Okay, we're going into number 3.
Number 3.
This definitely earns its spot.
You got height advantage. You got zero ground access. You have metal access. No pearls, no oil, anything like that. You've got wood. It's literally almost, you just have to terrabomb it. There's no way around it, and terrabomb is not really a thing on most servers anymore.
And a great location, you're center of everything.
Definitely, and if you build this right, you might not be able to kill too many of those nodes,
Yeah.
and you can get them to respawn and keep reusing it.
Absolutely.
Moving on to the volcano. Now, I know Lucy wants to talk about this.
Absolutely. So the volcano is about to change. They're having a really big update coming up. And if you see the region around, that is their indication telling you where, I've been calling it splash damage, but where the active volcano will start spewing its lava. At this point, this is no longer going to be the best location, but it has been so contested, so amazing. We had to give it its top 2 spot because it has earned it for the last 2 years.
1 choke point, height advantage, insane metal. You're centered on the map, so you have equal access to all locations. Yeah, I mean, besides the choke point, I mean, you have to hit this with flyers.
Yeah.
Very easy to defend. You've got crystal. Again, this isn't going to be around very much longer. Pretty soon, you're not going to be able to build on this anymore.
Absolutely. And the choke point itself is just such a huge deal because you cannot bring any big dinos in there. It's absolutely amazing.
Moving on to our number 1 pick, Glacier Island. You've got oil. You've got height advantage. You don't have to worry about choke points. 0 ground access, water barrier, so they have to deal with, swimming dinosaurs over here. Gigas fall under it.
Yep.
Rexes are hard to mount onto it. It's cold, so they have to come prepared. They can't come naked. They'll freeze to death. If you go down below, you've got Pearl access. You've got everything you need. I think this is the number 1 PvP-based location on the island map. Tell us what you think. Leave a comment in the down there.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for another top PvP-based location video.
I hope you guys like it. If you did, please smash that thumbs up button. It helps tell us if you guys like this type of episode and we can produce more of them.
Absolutely. And if you haven't already and you're new here, please subscribe and we will see you in the next video.
Peace.
Peace out.